Hello, this is Tom for Tabletop Tap Rooms Miniatures Monday. We're doing familiars and polymorph characters. Now, familiars have a long history in D&D, and we're more of a thing in first edition, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And, now we have wild shape and polymorph stuff. And I just love this particular meme right here of find the polymorph dragon. Because uh, I just love the picture of the cat sitting there making it look like he crushed that carport. So I came across some stuff when I was walking through Michael's craft store, and I thought, perfect, this stuff's perfect. And let's take a look at the share screen video. So I found these little mini decorations. They're from Ashland is the company, Spring and Print Temps, and this should switch over. There we go. So I bought them up, and I've posted them here with some Rackham miniatures, Rackham dwarves, and a Reaper miniature, just to show they are really close in scale, close enough that we can just get away with this. Now, here we go with the rabbit, and the rabbit, since gonna inspired by the rabbit from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So I had this base I'd already done up, and it just wasn't big enough, and I knew I was gonna need something more. So I'm doing a larger base where I can get a rock on there. I've got a couple of skulls, and this is a shield boss right here in this little cup. So right here in the cup, you can see me moving the cursor. That's a shield boss from a Vampire Count's army from a skeleton resident. So I'm going to trim away the cross piece and just have a bone and a couple of skulls on the base, and just to embellish it and make it this almost like a diorama looking base. Now I'm mixing up my 2-part resin. I use Magic Sculpt just because Magic Sculpt is you buy it by large quantities and you're not being overpriced by green stuff, and I like it. It's got less shape memory than green stuff. I've glued down my aquarium gravel to it, so I've got a rock on there, and we're getting all of the resin in there. Now we need to smooth this out, so we're getting it in the paint handle. Set it up. Paint handles are the best. We're trimming away some of the excess around with the X-Acto, and then after smoothing this with a little bit of water, I'm using water right from my paintbrush washing cup in the finger to smooth it, Teflon sculpting tool to also work the surface a little bit. I'm not worried about getting it too even. Now I'm going to bring in a brush here. Oh wait, nope, another tool. One of my wood tools, one of my favorite tools, actually. Now, this brush, I just love this brush. It gives a nice texture that will allow you to dry brush the ground. And next up, we want to bring out the Warhammer. I got Games Workshop modeling gravel. So it's really just ground up cork. So we're going to bring some out, and I'm not just putting some on. I'm putting on with the tweezers one little piece and pushing it into the resin. It'll stick because the resin's got that stickiness to it, so I won't really need to glue these down. And then once I prime it with paint, the paint will help hold that gravel down. So I'm just adding a few little tiny bits of gravel for a little extra texture. Now we're taking the plastic skulls from these are, again, Skeletal Regiment. I painted up a whole army for a guy way back in the early 2000s. And part of the deal was I says, I'll do it for this much money, but I also keep the bits. And so that has just given me this almost unending supply of skulls and skeletal hands on weapons. I can trim away the skeletal hand. And now I've got a weapon for a weapon swap. And so we're trimming out this little boss, and we're going to trim the little cross piece bone. And then I'll have a nice looking little like femur bone that I can glue down to the base, and it'll give us that bones all over the base. And oh yeah, my X-Acto blade fell out of the handle there. Got to be careful about that. That's when it's fun and games till somebody stabs their finger. So we've let the resin set up. Now it's time to glue down the skeletal heads, and we're going to get these glued on. Now, part of what I was doing there was I was pushing the skeletal heads into the resin to create a little joint where it would then glue in nicely. So after it's set, I'm gluing all this stuff down. We're going to add a pin to this. We can probably hurry this up a little bit. And yeah, add the little femur bone dealio. And we're pin vise drill. We're going to add a pin made from paperclip. And yeah, right here. So here's my deal. Hefty amount of super glue, and then we're going to add a sprinkle of baking soda on that to catalyze it, because if you don't know, baking soda is a catalyzer for super glue. Well, most super glues. I don't know for sure all of them. And we're adding a little bit, and the rabbit goes on the pin, and then we send this bad boy down to the paint table. Now here he is painted, and I've added a few little leaves from the birch catkins. I think I showed those in a previous video. Birch catkins are awesome, and so I've added a few leaves and painted this base up. We got one skeletal, we got one skull, another skull, and a helmet. This is the cats. Now, I've done little things here. Like I found a little rat in my bits box, and so I glued the one cat, down, standing on his tail, like the rat's trying to get away, and the cat's just kind of like messing with him. So I thought that was great. I got another cat that's sleeping. This brickwork base, that's just magic sculpt, and then you carve it out with a blade tool, lightly indent the magic sculpt, and then go back and do it a little heavier. And then this little wooden barrel. These are great. You used to be, you get these, the smallest miniature barrel that you'd find at one of these craft stores would be like a keg for a storm giant. But now they're making them really, really small. So this is like a nice, it's a big barrel next to the miniatures. But I just thought, cats, they want to sit on something. They're always getting on your stuff and sitting on stuff. And so that's why I based him that way, just to embellish the base a little bit. And coming up here is the dogs. We're going to, let's move it along. There's the dogs. And, now the dogs, I did nothing for them. I just put them on a standard base, and two of them, I just covered them with Reichland flesh shade, so it would seep in the crevices. It dirtied them up a little bit. The cute little Shih Tzu dog here with the bow in his hair, or her hair. I didn't do anything to it. I didn't repaint it. I thought it looked good enough. Obviously, one of the cats I repainted, and that's it. That was just me walking through Michael's, and I don't have links for the actual product. The lights are washing this out. So yeah, I've pulled all the miniatures out. Now, one of this product had a fox. It was a fox, a raccoon, and an owl, or a fox, a squirrel, and an owl. And but they looked a little cartoonish. These looked a little more realistic. These dogs and these cats lean more towards realism. And then the other woodland animals went a little bit more cartoonish in their presentation, their sculpt. So I didn't get those because I didn't like the cartoonish. Now they would work if you're basing up a bunch of the chibi miniatures where it's just a tiny body and a big head. And if you're into the chibi miniatures, and you've been like, because I was thinking about doing up a bunch of the chibi miniatures for playing, introducing role-playing games to the kiddos, right? then they might actually be worthwhile collecting and basing. And I might just do that. I might just go get them, and it won't even repaint them. They're nice and slightly cartoonish. I'll just make a nice base and put those on there. So, and you can find those at Michael's. So I don't have a lot of links for you in the show notes if you're looking for these products. But swing by your local store. Joanne Fabrics is in the news. It's going out of business. Joanne Fabrics in our area. I was not surprised that the particular store was going out of business, but it's now, I guess, the whole chain seems to be going out of business in the news. So swing by your Michael's, swing by your Hobby Lobby, buy at a local game store. Make sure you're patronizing your local game store. I'm going to put links in the show notes. So if there's products that I use that you want, and you don't have a local store that you can patronize, feel free to click the link to help support the channel. Those are affiliate links, and I appreciate it. Check these out. These are really great because who doesn't need a familiar or a polymorphed creature in their D&D campaign if you are going miniatures heavy and not theater of the mind? I think these are fantastic. And in particular, I am very much loving my Monty Python Holy Grail bad boy here, just because wasn't that a great moment in that movie when this rabbit came up? That was like one of the awesome moments of the movie, and I just had to have it. And I've got 2 more spares here that I'm gonna take these and clean the glitter off of them with the Goo Gone. Wash them up real nice, put them in my bits box, and I will have them for the future. Maybe I decide to embellish a base or do a rabbit hutch. Who knows? So this is Tom for Tabletop Taproom. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and bell icon. Help me build the channel, and keep on gaming.